Hey everybody, this is Zoom360 here on the go, and today I'm just gonna run some errands, but I wanted to use this opportunity or time, well, both time and opportunity to do a ZoomThought video. This is those ZoomThoughts are when I just chime in on certain issues that are being discussed out there in popular culture. So you guys probably know by now, I haven't heard about it so much anymore, so I know that the story has probably died down. I wanted to comment about what rapper Kanye West said, suggesting that blacks being enslaved was a choice. So I wanted to comment on that, and this is not one of those videos where that I'm gonna be choosing a side and trying to defend it, or trying to criticize, the view that I don't agree with. It's not gonna be that. I just wanted to chime in on the thought process itself, as in slavery was a choice, which is the essence of what that he's saying. So while I go and run my errands, I will chime in on it throughout that time. So yeah, let's go. On my way to do some errands, so let's talk about it. Slavery was a choice. Slavery was not a choice. So those are the two sides from what that rapper Kanye West said. So let's take a look at each side and just sit back and really analyze what each of those sides of the argument really mean. Now, what I've realized about life is that whatever you say, there's always a deeper meaning to it. There's always another side of it. Like if you say that you work during the day, you are also implying that you do not work during the night. So a lot of people, when they embrace certain philosophies or ways of life or choose sides of arguments, they rarely think about all of the implications of whichever side that they are choosing. So that's what I'm going to explore. Why that is important is because the deeper meanings of whichever side that you are choosing, those matter because you are going to behave accordingly. And since you don't think about those, you will be reacting to them without even realizing it. So let's look at slavery was not a choice, because I think that it's fair to say among blacks in America, at least, that that's the way that most of them feel. Because I've heard a lot more blacks saying things against Kanye because they disagree, rather than blacks that say, he has a point. So let's look at slavery was not a choice. Okay, so when you say slavery was not a choice, you are also saying a lot of other things as well. Now, I understand why that people say that, because by saying that blacks went into slavery because they didn't have a choice, it first of all, it puts the blame on the oppressor. And I think it's fair to say in this case would be, I say, like, whites, right? So it says, okay, that this thing called slavery, which happened to me, it's something that I couldn't help, and it's whitey's fault, right? It's the fault of the whites, which means that you are shifting blame completely to whites. It also means that you are saying it's not me, it's them, which also means that you don't have to change anything about you because it's all about them. It's their fault. You are also saying that you are weak because there's nothing you can do. You are in a position of weakness. You are the victim, and there is absolutely nothing that you can do about it, which also subsequently means you are not in charge of your destiny, because right now in 2018, blacks, and at least in America, aren't slaves. At least not the traditional sense of a slave being locked with chains and being so that's not happening in the United States right now. So what you're saying is that if whites would decide today to enslave blacks again, there's nothing that you can do about it, because again, you are weak. It's not you, it's them, which means that your destiny is not truly yours. Your destiny is just floating out there at the mercy of whites or whoever the oppressor is. So now I think what's happening here, that the people who embrace the notion that slavery was not a choice, that blacks didn't have a choice, that they had to fall into it, I think that the reason why they like it so much is because it puts blame on the oppressor, which means that I don't have to do anything. I don't have to make certain changes so that I can become free or ensure that I don't fall into slavery again. It just says, it's you, not me. So the ease of placing blame, I think that's why that it's so, the argument that slavery was not a choice is so enticing to a lot of people. So when you say that slavery, slavery was not a choice, those are the other philosophies that you are embracing, and you will behave accordingly. Now, let's go to the other side of the argument. First things first, I gotta get some money. But before I do, so let's look at the other side of the argument. The slavery was a choice. What does that mean? What is the deeper meanings? What are the implications of that? So if you're saying that slavery was a choice, what you're saying is that you made the choice, which subsequently means that the institution of slavery cannot exist unless you have the permission of one person, the slave, right? Which means that the person who's being forced to be a slave at some point have to decide. Now, I'm not here to criticize the choice, because I understand, like you may choose to be a, because you may because you may choose to become a slave because you want to live another day and fight later, you know, like you don't want to die. And so I understand. I'm not here to criticize the choice. It's just that, you know, just to understand what it is that you are choosing. So if slavery was indeed a choice, that means that you have the power to undo that choice because you made the choice, right? This also means that your destiny is actually in your hand, because again, it was a choice, which means if you chose to be a slave, you can also end slavery by choosing not to be a slave. Now, of course, it could cost you your life. It has happened before. There's been revolts. Some failed, some succeeded, but you know, freedom isn't free. You know, it's paid for a lot of the times with lives, but it's a choice. So by saying that, by embracing that philosophy, you will also be subsequently choosing to also embrace the fact that your destiny is in your hand. You can choose whatever you want. You can choose enslavement or freedom. It means that you are not afraid of the quote unquote oppressor, whichever or whoever, whatever group that is for you. It also means that you don't have to be afraid of anyone because you can choose to be a slave or not, which means that if, let's say that, you know, for example, that, you know, whites would decide that, okay, we're gonna make blacks slave again, you can make a choice to fight back. And yes, that might you know, cost you your life, but hey, at least you will die a free person than be alive and be a slave. Again, you are choosing. So one side or one choice, if I'm gonna say, right, I guess, so yeah, let me just say this. So one side of the argument gives you all kinds of power because you understand that you can choose. The other side of the argument takes away all power from you and blames a group of people or person, whoever that is for you. So I have to ask you, which side of the argument gives you the power? With that being said, I'm gonna leave it like that. Tons of exciting things planned out for the channel. So those things are coming up. I'm excited. I'm just very excited to share that with you all. And it's gonna be fun. Some of it will be pretty scary, but I think that you guys will enjoy it. So I'm gonna end this ZoomThought right here, and I hope what I said about that, at the very least, causes you to think about these things. And that's what I wanted to do. But these ZoomThoughts are just, you know, things I like to do just to cause people to think, because there was a time in my life where that I did very little thinking. Well, sort of, but it's just that now that I do a lot of thinking and I see that there's a serious lack of that now. So I try to do these ZoomThoughts where that, you know, you can sit and think about certain things. So I hope you guys can see me well enough because it's kind of dark in here, but I am going to do these errands. So I'm gonna end this video right here and right now. So this was Zoom 360 on the go, encouraging you to get up, get out, and do it. Like, subscribe, and share, and don't forget to hit the small bell next to the subscribe button, I guess you can say, and so that you can be notified of my uploads. So I'm trying to upload at least like once a week now, for the most part. So yeah, so until next time, I'm out.